Come get a feel of something real. Feel the heat in every word we spill. Miles and Shamila breaking the seal. Come get a feel of something real. It's a fifth of something. Welcome to the show.
Before we get started, we want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors: Ruff Flow Entertainment Plus TV, we call it on Ruby's Penthouse, Sweet Beat Vodka, 1201 Holistic, Doing the Most Games, Partier Dallas, Soul Shack, and Chicken Guy. Okay, let's start the show. You ready? What up, y'all? It's your boy Miles, the best dressed podcast host of all time with a fifth of something. And of course, with me is my amazing co-host.
Hey, I am the one and only Shamila.
Hey. Who are you saying hey to, Shamila?
People, that's why.
Just the world. Did they say, huh? How you been?
I've been good.
Been good. I'm always good.
What's wrong with you?
Oh, you know what? To be honest with you, I'm really kind of tired. I'm really tired.
Okay, well, wake up. We
Wake
have
up.
a guest right here.
Wake up. Yeah, and we do have a guest. Who do we have with us, Shamila?
We have Mr. Derrick Walker, a.k.a. D-Walk.
Yes.
Yo.
The one and only.
I've only known him as D-Walk when he was like, hey, it's Derrick. I was like, who?
Yeah, he was introducing himself to
Who
somebody.
is Derrick? No,
Because I was about to introduce him as D-Walk, and he's like, Derrick. And I'm like,
That's what my mama called me. That's what my mama named me. She named me Derrick.
right.
And so I do find it appropriate to introduce myself
As your name.
as my name.
And it's a solid name because you told us what it means, too.
yeah,
strong name.
It's a
Yeah.
strong name.
Right.
Right.
Both your names. Your middle name,
so
too.
So my first name is Derrick, and that means ruler of the people.
Nice.
And then my middle name is Ryan, and that means little king.
So, since your name means ruler of the people, would you ever start your own cult?
Cult is a strong word.
Right? You're a little king.
Maybe community, not
Right.
cult.
Community, I
Yeah.
think, is appropriate.
No, I want you to start a
Right.
cult.
Well, I will say this: that I have an organization named for the culture.
Oh, okay.
Right, and
All right.
if cult is short for culture, it is something that we're all in part of, and connected with. And so, community is the people, a collection of individuals.
Right.
The culture is the people doing those things together, and then we have commerce that connects with that. And so, I do business as well, and we do culture. We have community everywhere we go. So, if anything, honestly, when I discovered the meaning of my name, it made so much sense. Because I think I think it's fair to operate from a kingdom mindset, right? And that's inclusive of people and consider the people and community that we share with. So, it was appropriate. Now, the ruler part of it is definitely
Right.
you
You're
know what I'm
like,
saying?
a little
hey.
different.
It's different than a dictator, right? But also, I
Yeah.
think the idea of the king comes with responsibility, and so that's what I try to I operate from that pedagogy.
Yeah. I remember the first time. So, we met you on a black carpet at Leon Lacey.
Yes, sir.
But I think we met before
No,
that.
yeah,
With
because
Key, didn't we? Didn't we meet you with
it
Key
was
Divine?
something. No, we asked you about Key, but it was something about you that we knew for some reason. I forgot what it was because I was like, "Hey, you are such and such." I don't know what I seen you on, and then we asked you if you knew Key. You was like, "Oh yeah, I did some work with her or something like that."
Right.
Yeah, so I do recall the black carpet at Leon Lacey event.
It was quick.
It was quick. It was very quick. It was quick. It was cool, right? But it was also very significant because then when I saw you again, I was like, oh, I saw you again. No,
And that was at Noma.
No. You know where it was?
Where?
It was at the first time was the Project Unity.
Then I remember seeing you, because my first time seeing you perform was at Spaces
Yes, for Noma.
at Phonoma.
Yeah,
And that was dope, dog.
it was dope.
It was dope. And you even
Yeah, I want
got
to have you do a little something later.
Yeah, we were gonna have you do a little something.
Okay.
Which
I'm
we
not
could do
opposed.
this now. We could start it now
Yeah.
because what we were gonna do, because what you did at Noma, you got a word from each person inside of the place, and then you wrote a poem.
Yeah.
And so, or you did a spoken word. Because there's a difference between spoken word and poems, right?
Technically, yes. The spoken word is the speaking of a poem.
But you're not a poet. You're
What do you call yourself?
Right. I would consider myself a poet, right? But also, I consider myself a poet because I'm in the category of the genre of poetry,
Mm-hmm.
which is also connected to the performance of poetry, spoken word. So they kind of, and that's some of what we're working through from an industry standpoint is identifying and clarifying what that is because when I think of poet, I think of Nicky Giovanni, I think of writers, I think of Langston Hughes, right?
Right.
But
Me too.
also the spoken word part of it can lend to honestly, we're talking about hip hop, right? If you take away the music
Mm-hmm.
and you got the
Yeah.
lyrics, that's technically poetry, spoken word. Or also, my grandfather was a preacher, a minister. So, like, is that not spoken word, right? So,
So
it
I think this was your question, not to interrupt you, but um, is it so? Is there like a freestyle? Is that kind of what you do? Like how rappers have freestyling, because that's kind of what you did at the Numble event, right?
yeah. So there is a freestyle concept. It is based on just kind of the style, as in like no technical structure, right? But it's the presentation of words shared that connect with people, which is why I could say I think there are moments that are poetic and relate to spoken word with a church experience or with hip hop and rapping or even freestyle. Because the idea of freestyle, could I freestyle? Yeah, like even technically, I'm freestyling now, like in conversation.
Right.
And
Oh
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just, I think some of it is based on the presentation of the packaging, but also um, who and how it's being consumed. And so what we did experience is what I considered taking a word from everybody. I consider that a form of a freestyle.
Okay, so how much of your performance is planned? Like, do you always do that, or do you kind of like?
He like
How much
93%
is
of it.
planned? I think if there's a word, it is that I prepared something,
Mhm.
right? And so I go in there with something in mind, but also I'm willing to be present in the room to experience what the room is giving me, right?
Mhm.
Because so as much as so for the Noma event, in my mind I had an option to do what I did as far as taking a word from everybody. I also had in my mind, depending on what order I was going to go in, to not do that if that wasn't the best opportunity.
Mhm.
So I go in with some options and I let the room I let the room speak. Right, I listen to the
You feel
people.
the vibe.
I
You
feel
feel
the
the
vibe.
energy.
I feel the vibe. I feel the energy, and which I think from a performative standpoint is the part that really connects with people. It's the part that I recognize as I do spoken word. I host an event and open up an event probably every quarter in LA, and it lends to me like being a host or being what I like to call like Sammy Davis Jr. Like I performed at the Fountain Blue as well, so it's almost a host, but also I can break into spoken word, which is performance, which technically goes into monologues and theater as well. But also because I'm a musician and performing artist, an artist overall, I consider myself identify a performance artist through poetry, or performance artist through music or singing or speaking.
So you were talking about Langston Hughes a few minutes ago. Do you think that Langston Hughes, if he was alive nowadays, that he would do like open mics and stuff like that? He'd be like, I'm gonna go
Yo,
say
He
this
said,
shit.
"I'm gonna see Langston
You know,
Hughes."
I think, hey yo, L Hughes gonna be right.
Right.
Would you?
I do believe there's a space for it. I also believe, just from what I read historically and just understand, was that there was a gathering of poets or people to have conversation about writing, to reflect um, what was happening in society, and then put it into a package or a presentation that people can connect with it. So I do believe, so when we think about the speakeasies,
Yeah.
that's what though they were open mics as a concept, but they were very much private spaces because what you said mattered,
Yeah.
right? And it could position you to have attention that you want, but also get attention you may not prefer.
And I feel like the doors have opened so much because people are so creative, right? I feel like creativity never ends. My dad is actually a poet, and I was talking to him about some of the things that he can do, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." And I was telling him about you, and I was telling him about Key, and I was just like, you have an album out, and I was like, you can do an album. Like, he has had a contract with someone before to do an album, but it's basically writing so that they can turn his poems into a song, because he does like spiritual
So
kind of
he's just
gospel
writing
type.
songs, basically. That's what it would be.
Yeah, I mean, he was just kind of like writing songs or whatever. I
So
don't know if
would you
anybody's ever
be
done.
able to turn any of your poems
Yeah,
into songs easily? Like a Beyonce could sing like that?
I feel like
Yes,
even like a
Really?
absolutely,
rap
right. And
too.
which
Mhm.
is, so if we're honest,
Mm.
or even more honest, I was a rapper at one point.
Were you?
Mhm.
Do you
Yeah.
remember what your first rap song was that you wrote?
Oh gosh.
Give me some. Come on, you got to
Hold
spit
on.
the
Yeah, I
lyrics,
got you.
dog.
It was in elementary school.
Oh,
And it was, I think what I can remember is, girls, let me tell you one thing about them. You can't live with them.
Hmm.
You
Can't
can't
live
live
without
without them.
them.
what?
Hey, I remember that
That was
song.
it. That's
But like,
dope.
that was
Uh-huh.
right. But I was able to do that. And so the other part about that, if we look at it as a trade,
Mm,
right, the trade is writing.
mm,
Mhm.
The trade is performance,
mhm,
right? Or really speaking communication, right?
mhm,
It's communication, right? And so I've been able, as a writer, my theory is that if I can write a rap song, I can write a poem.
mm,
If I can write a poem, I can write a story. If I can write a story, I can write a play. If I can write a play, I can write a script. If I can write a script, I can write a movie,
mhm,
Mm.
right? But also, I study journalism, so I can write a press release.
mm,
I
Yeah.
can write an article. I can write a business plan. I can
mhm,
write because I can write as a basis of my trade. But also, it's the form and the science of communication that exists.
mhm,
It's one of the most transferable skills, which is what I've been doing as well from a workforce development standpoint. Is utilizing the creative ability of poetry or rapping or rhyming or
Mhm.
literature to, one, develop better literacy with
mhm.
amongst us all, and to take that and utilize that to put that into a space where it can become a commodity for you to utilize to generate a quality of life that you may not have been able to imagine.
Hmm.
Yeah. So your album Brown and Word.
Yeah.
Um. Wait. What is the meaning of that first?
Brown inward, brown
Uh-huh.
or in like
In.
I-N.
In.
So it's when we think about words in art, it's multisensory,
Mhm,
right? So if you see the name of the album, browninword.com,
Mhm.
right? But if I look at the word brown and write it down in lowercase and look at it in the mirror, it phonetically says inward.
It does. You're right.
Hmm.
I've
Interesting.
never thought about. I mean, I've never thought about that before.
Hmm.
So now that's visual art,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so for me growing up, letters were shapes before they were letters.
Mm,
So the letter A, what we know identifies the letter A, was first a triangle.
mm-hmm.
The letter C was a circle with a hole in it,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, with a streak.
With a streak, right? Right? But like that, but also teaching from that standpoint and introducing letters at that standpoint from a base understands like there are certain symbols that are international and global,
Mhm.
Mhm.
right? When you see an octagon, it means
Stop.
stop,
Right.
right? If you are, but also it goes into color. If you
Right.
see
I was saying it had to
red,
be red.
right, there's a psychological part to it. So I've
Mhm.
basically been able to I'll say take the lowest common. I've identified writing as the most common denominator of art because if you can handwrite, you're drawing.
Mm.
If you're drawing, you can spell.
Can you draw?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a visual artist as well.
See, I am too, and it's weird to me how like as artists we can look at like I can look at that plant right there, and I can draw that plant, and it'll look just like that, color and all, shadow, shade, everything will look just like that. But I'm not saying that Shamila can't draw, but I've dealt with people that can't draw at all. Like I can say,
Yeah.
draw this table. Just look at it and draw what you see, and they're like, I can't do it. And it's like, why can you not?
Right. Well, and some
Some
of
things
that.
that you feel like are easy to you feel like, oh wow, you can't do
Right?
that.
Why
Yeah.
should you? I can just pick up a pen and I'm looking at this table and I'm just following the path of it
I do
on
want to
the
go.
paper.
I do want to go back to your album though.
Okay.
So like, would you
She like,
consider?
forget what you
And
talking about.
I do want to address that because I think there's something connected. There's connectivity to that, but we can talk about that.
Oh no, you can if you want to touch on that right now.
Well, it kind of connects back to the album. So as I
Oh.
have the album, for me as a person, I'm able to interpret. Right, I can look at something and say, okay, let me interpret this. Let me reflect a version of this. So when I write down the word brown, I look at the reflection of it.
Mhm.
It phonetically spells inward, but also when I say inward, that goes to a point of connection or an experience to some people inward, right?
Right,
Mhm.
100%.
Whether it's in word
Mhm.
or the Negro that you know or
Right.
don't like,
Mhm.
right? And so now that opens my lens up to be acceptable of someone else's what could be called a disability or their special ability to do a particular thing or to understand a particular way.
Hmm.
So yes, you can draw this with a pencil or you can sketch this from that perspective, but also there's a version that you can do. It may not be the same, but it's okay. Well,
What would her version be if she's not an artist?
well, it could be the interpretive part could be that she can see the shapes and make that apply that through another medium, right? It could be like the way you do, the way you do, when you say that you're an artist and the way you describe that plant, I see that in the visuals of how you present yourself with your clothing, right? The intention. So now we go back to artistic intention. What is the intention? Is my intention to match that exactly, precisely, or mirror that, or is my intention to do a model of that or a scale of it, right? Do I want to write the letter brown, or am I looking at inward?
How'd you come up? I mean, not how'd you come up with, of course it's there, but what made you look at that? Did you have a shirt on or something that said brown on it and you were looking in the mirror? You're like, God damn, that says N word.
So
Yeah.
some of that technically is that also.
Because I just like to dig in people's brain to see where their thought process. Because mine is like, my brain is like that.
No,
I come up with weird shit all
Yeah,
the time.
I have a special ability to see from one position multiple perspectives. Just as a, some may call it a.
It's a word. It's wordplay. See, I like
it's,
a lot of wordplay stuff though, because like I do games with wordplay.
right.
You know what I mean? Which we have some stuff we'll play a little bit later on, or here in a
Ooh, I
little
feel
while.
like you be good. That's all I want to do. I feel
And
like
now
you
that
be
now that
good.
he's talking, I really want to play with
Yeah.
him with it because I'm thinking as we're going along, I'm like, we're gonna play that. But I'll ask you this, because like I said, it's wordplay. So I will ask you, how many seconds are in a year?
As many as can be counted. I don't know.
It's only 12 seconds in a year. January 2nd, February 2nd. See, it's
Right.
wordplay.
Yeah,
It's
no,
wordplay.
100%.
Right.
Right.
And so that's everything. And if you ask Shamila or ask anyone that I communicate with on a norm, I listen very well. You know what I mean? Because I want to make sure that whatever you're saying, I'm going to answer it the right way. Because I don't want to say some bullshit to you. And then you like, no, you remember that day we were talking? Oh, well, that's not what you said whenever you asked the question. So I answered the words that I heard.
Right.
So,
Well, so and then
Listen
that
to what he want to listen to.
right. That's
Yes,
what the real
right,
truth is.
so
like
and
that.
so for me, sometimes, particularly in academic settings, that became a challenge for me because I could see from multiple perspectives. So if I selected the perspective that I saw first, I was made to be wrong
Yep.
by that teacher, and I got in trouble, and that created challenges for me as it relates to being and operating in this space. It's like imagine judging.
And when you feel like because you see multiple perspectives, right? Sometimes do you feel like you're like, damn, I hope they don't think that I'm just trying to agree with them. Because I do that sometimes. I don't say anything because I don't want people to think like, okay, you just saying that because
I'm gonna tell you what I always think when I talk to people. I always think that other people took the blue pill and I took the red pill. Because or either I talk to some dumbass people, one of the two.
And so, like the other part of that is like there are moments where I think I've taken both of them, or not even just taken them, but I've been given both of them, which goes back to these ideas of what abilities are and who identifies what a disability is, right? Because in some spaces, it might be called. It could be called a mental health challenge in the medical space, but also at church, this just means that you have a unique spiritual gift, right? So, like, who gets to define what my abilities are? And one of the challenges early on for me was that moving through this space as a person who has multiple abilities or multiple disciplines in my art or my expression is being made to be wrong because my ability doesn't fit their preference.
Yeah.
Right. But that also extends into relationships because I don't operate the way you want me to. I'm not this, or I am now this, and it just because it has been a challenge. True.
Yeah, because we're taught to all think the same way. And, there's like a masses of, oh, this is right and that's wrong. And they show you that every day. And so sometimes that can be confusing. Like growing up, I was very confused about certain things. I'm like, I know that I'm right, or I know that this could be right, but you're telling me that it's wrong. And so after like going to therapy, I'm like, well, damn, so I wasn't wrong.
Right. Yeah.
When it came to certain things.
If you weren't wrong.
Because sometimes in certain situations, I feel like, if we don't really know, it's maybe in our senses. Like, we all could be right, we all can be wrong. And I talk about that when it comes to spirituality because everyone's, people are like, okay, well, this is what I believe in and this is right. If you don't believe in that, then you're going to hell or whatever.
That's what I don't like about
so,
religious people,
yeah,
about spiritual.
So it
religious
depends on,
people.
yeah, it
That's
depends on what, and I feel like we all could be right, we all could be wrong when it comes to that.
Yeah.
because a lot of times we're doing the same thing, but we're calling it something else.
Exact. So
Oh,
for
man,
me,
spit.
going kind of
My bad.
to the name of the album, one part of it was also, which it made me compelled. I felt responsible to make this happen. And my nephew's Carter. He's 6 years old, and he
Shout out to
said,
Carter.
"Shout out to Carter.
What
What
up,
up, Carter?
Carter?
You know, what up, Carter?" And he said he had just come back from class, and I always ask him, "Hey, what'd you do today? How did class go? What'd you learn?" He said, "Unc, I'm not black. I'm brown."
Oh, I was like, what?
And I was
Uh-huh.
like,
Yeah.
"You're not wrong,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
right?" And it made me wonder, what lie are we willing to accept when we know that it's not true?
Yeah.
Why does this is what we were talking about last night. We were talking about that. But I'm sorry, keep going because I'm still trying to, because we were talking about something last night that's on these lines and I'm trying to get it back. And you're bringing it back right now.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's the idea that we've accepted something to be true, even if it's not real,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we've accepted someone's opinion as if it's a fact,
Mm-hmm.
right? We've accepted someone's
Mm-hmm.
perspective as if it's the only one that exists.
Mm-hmm.
There's a spectrum of this, even on one of my
Yeah, and
records.
that's why I don't argue
Um,
people's opinion. I'm like, I say my piece, you say your piece, but don't try to get me to believe that your opinion is right when it's just an opinion. You're not serving me no facts.
so
What were we gonna say about your record? You said
so
on your
on
record
one
one?
of the records, it's called I can't remember the name of it, but it's called Autoisms
Mm-hmm.
Become Prisms. When I see them,
Hey,
can't unsee them.
Hmm.
hey,
Then it
I
goes the
like
next
that.
line: autoisms become prisms. When prisons, when you see me, you can't unsee them. Right? Is that we have imprisoned people based on our perspective, but also the perspective of having the ability to see a prism, see light as a prism.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like the lights that are in the studio, they
Mhm.
look white. I can also see the color spectrum and the spectrum of colors
Mm-hmm.
that are separated within the lights. That's based on my
Oh
perspective. So
yeah.
then when somebody asks me what color do I see, well, what perspective do you want? Do you want as if I see it from a prison, or do you want me to see it as in light or no light? I'm a graphic designer. I'm a visual understander.
Mm.
I can understand visuals, and I understand the context of a concept to make it something that's performative in live.
He who controls sight controls minds. That's something that has been told to me over and over. So even if, like how you said, Shamila can write those words down, I'm looking at those words and I'm reading it, and now I'm starting to visualize it. So she's controlling my mind. If I draw a picture and I want you to see it, I'm like, look at that. And now I'm controlling what you're looking at. I'm controlling your mind. So he who, who
Mm-hmm.
can create shit, we control minds, man.
You are
Music.
breathing kind of heavy. Do you disagree? No, I'm kidding.
He's like,
I
Oh
no,
don't
no
know.
no
no.
Keep
no!
it
I
going.
don't disagree at
Oh,
all.
he was like,
And I will say
He
what,
like,
I'm like,
what
no, no, no.
I wouldn't do that. I think one, it started. I can go down rabbit holes, right?
Right.
Because of how I hear and understand
Mhm.
things, and what it did illuminate for me was another moment that I've had with myself, but also with my nephew. Is one control, because you said controls one who controls sight control the mind, but
Right.
then you also said the one who can create can control that,
Yeah,
which
well,
which
yeah,
which it made it
Yeah.
more broad. What I have realized and recognized as I produce, because I'm a documentarian, I produce film, I produce music for TV and film,
Mhm.
is I recognize that even in production, I can have a black and white video or a video that's pixelated, but if my sound is crisp and good, people are willing to believe it through their imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And so I would even say or consider that the sound is what creates that, which is one of the reasons when you hear my album, it sounds like a movie.
Mhm.
Well, it's because now I don't have to do the audio production of my movie. I can put dancers to it and they can become more performative. I can bring in actors and they can lip sync, because that's what ends up happening sometimes when you're watching a film and there's a lot of people going around. You have to know that the actors are going back into the studio
Mhm.
and re-overdubbing
Overlapping. Yeah. Yeah, we
their
do
their
that.
audio, right? And
We do it.
right, and so that comes from deconstructing and understanding production, but also understanding that words spoken actually translate a lot of imagination, which is one of the reasons why constitutionally we have to have in a document to say there is a freedom of speech. Like, if you think about it, why does it have to be written that you can say what you want? Because the
Right.
minute that you do say what you want and someone doesn't like it, it becomes hell to live.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, even that if it's written and you still say what you want or have freedom of speech, they still will.
No, we don't have
kinda-
freedom
yeah,
of speech.
It's not.
We
I mean, we do, but then they kind of
say the wrong thing.
yeah.
Right. I think I just wrote. I think we have freedom of silence.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel you, dog.
And we ain't talking about nothing.
Yeah, we ain't talking about nothing. We ain't talking about nothing.
What you talking about? Nothing. What you talking about?
What you talking about?
What you talking about? We talking about nothing.
Nothing.
What you talking about?
No, but listen. So this is what I want to do. I'm gonna ask you 2 quick questions, okay?
Okay.
And then we're gonna play a quick game. Then we're gonna end this up, okay? So I want to do one question because we're talking about words and different things like that. If you had to spell the letter H, how would you spell it?
Don't look at me.
One, I don't test well. I failed the TOS.
He's
I
like,
failed the TOS test 3 times.
Oh, damn. Well, let's
Right.
sound it out together.
So do you want the phonetic spelling?
Well, that'd just be H, right? But if you sound out
If you
H,
it sounded out H.
Right.
What would it
The
sound like?
phonetic spelling
Yeah.
would be.
H,
I would actually go the number 8,
Eight.
CH.
8, C, 8.
8. Well,
So it would
the
be
letter
8.
8.
But yeah,
H.
H. Okay, that's
The
that's
letter
different.
8.
No, I got.
CH.
Well, no, I see it. I'm looking. I'm listening to it and I'm looking at it.
That's the version I see.
Okay.
H.
See, H to me, I hear an A, so I hear ACH. I would just say ACHE.
Right. So which that's very clever. We need to. I know we're talking now, but like I want to explore that, right? Because the idea of the options is what creates the outcome.
Right.
Right. And so I believe it's okay. I won't judge your outcome when I don't know what your options were.
Man, we've had people that's put a T in it.
Mhm.
We've had all sorts of stuff, and and now we have a number.
A number.
You know what I mean? So
Right. Or a numerical symbol, because if you look at the letter 8, the letter 8, right? And the number 8,
you said that
the symbol 8,
right?
right? That's also known as the infinity sign
Right.
in certain
Mhm. I
spaces.
was
Right.
thinking about that.
Right. But it's also like it's a religious sign in certain spaces. And so
It's also a half of a snowman.
you're not wrong.
Well,
Right?
two-thirds
which
of a
goes
snowman.
which goes to me to say, how am I would never, I'm willing to not judge your outcomes if I don't know the options of what you see.
Right.
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 Because somebody could say that ain't how you spell H.
Mhm.
Okay, how you spell H?
Yeah, they got a whole nother way.
Right. And
It
so
is fine.
which for me as a business person, because I do a tremendous amount of business, my question is,
Because we're making
what's
it
your
up anyway.
perspective? Well, it's all made to be believed,
Mhm.
right? And even the idea of belief is about. I believe the word belief was technically 2 words: be life. You know how we from the South. You know, we say, "Hey, what up, y'all?
Mm-hmm.
You all."
Mhm.
We took 2 words and made them one.
Yeah.
Right? We made
Right.
compound words, and so art evolves, stories evolve. At just as time, and there's an evolution that exists within all of these things, and so there's nothing while there is nothing new, there might be something that's fresh.
I'm gonna ask you my second question.
What's
Remember, I
that?
said I had 2 of them.
All right,
That
now
was
listen,
one.
hold on. I'm gonna go into my Dallas lingo because I'm very, very comfortable with y'all.
Hell yeah, that's
know
what we
what I'm
want you to
saying?
do.
Yeah, yeah,
Because that's
square
what we got
business.
right here.
Square business, man.
Square business, one of them, one new
Hey,
cars.
man,
We're gonna
you
talk
dig
about
what
it in a
I'm
minute.
saying?
But listen, so check it out. So now, this is something that we like to ask the guys that come on the show.
All right.
You
All
like
right.
that?
Well, I do. I like that. But Shamila like the answers
She
too.
like
so-
that. You like the question. She like the answer.
Right,
Right.
right.
Don't be playing over there. Quit acting
Exactly.
Like that.
Quit
She
hating.
high side. Why you high
High
side?
side.
Where you
high
from,
side.
Shawty?
California
California.
knows how to party.
Listen, everything big in Texas, but everything better in Dallas, baby.
That's right. That is right.
Okay.
So the second question: what is one thing you should never do with your homeboy? I'm gonna give you one
It's
sample.
obvious.
I'm not gonna tickle you. I'm not gonna feed you no food.
Listen, you're saying the reason I laugh because I've never thought about tickling. Like I've never thought about. It's like whoa. hold
Right,
on,
you gonna
please.
lose all your fingers, dog.
Yeah.
I'm gonna thump all of them off.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
You should never feed your homeboy. We ain't going to 60 Vines and I'm gonna cut some of my meat off my steak and feed it to you. I ain't doing that, dog.
Yeah, no.
Nah,
that-
'cause you
how is
shouldn't-
that an option? I'm not. That's not for me.
Mm-mm.
Either.
Your lip-
Like, you want to try something? Stay here.
Hold on. Did y'all see that? Listen, go back and do a replay of this. He said, "Mm-mm."
No way. I ain't doing it, dog. Your lips are not gonna touch my fork.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
And you ain't gonna do it like this neither.
I don't do that. Yeah, hold on. The fact that you did it, I
Well,
don't even drink out of straws.
Me neither.
No, I'm
I drink out of a straw on this,
for
but I
real.
don't.
You shouldn't talk with your homeboy girl about him.
Okay, that's a good one.
That's on
Something you
code.
shouldn't do with your homeboy though.
Well,
You shouldn't talk with your homeboy about his girl.
There you go.
Square
you
business.
say
Like no, you that there.
You know
that's,
what? Pull
That's
out
a
square
line.
business.
That's a boundary. Like
I'm
that's a
gonna-
space.
I'm gonna pull out.
because he keeps saying square business. I want to know what does square business mean?
I ain't cutting no corners. I keep the squares at my circle too. You dig
Okay.
what I'm saying?
All right, so that's the real
Square
deal.
business. Yeah,
is
the
what
real
you
deal.
said.
Yeah, it's fact. Like yeah, you could put a fork in it. You know what I'm saying? I don't cut corners.
I feel
You
you.
know what I'm saying? I'm like Wendy's.
All right.
I know we got to close at some point, but this is part of the conversation. I appreciate being able to have this. I'm a resident artist at the Juanita Craft Center.
Yeah, I was going to tell you to
And-
tell everybody
and part
everything
of
about
this,
you.
part of the idea is to show that words exist as a multi-disciplined art form.
Mhm.
I really would consider myself like the Basquiat of letters and shapes, sounds, arts, and words,
Mhm.
because words are absolutely sounds. They're visual. They're every part of the sense that you want to imagine.
Mhm.
They exist as that. And it's also the idea that we have to revalue and reprioritize the idea of expressive writing.
I like that.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. I want to first before we go, thank you, man, for sitting down with us, brother.
Mhm.
We had a great time with you, man.
June 6th,
Okay.
I'm having pretty much it's called a South Dallas homecoming.
Hmm.
Right? So if you've been connected to South Dallas, if you've been connected to Southern Dallas, if you've been connected to anybody who knows somebody who from these areas, you are invited out June 6th at the South Dallas Culture Center. That's when my exhibition opens. Also, we're having a big welcome to Dallas party for everybody here for FIFA. And I'm saying we're going to have food trucks. We're going to have the Cadillacs out there. We're going to have activations. I'm working with Forest. I think I can mention it. Forest Theater. We talked about doing some things together. We're going to have performers. I'll be performing. And my exhibition will open up that evening at 5 to 6 p.m.
Is it inside or outside?
It'll be inside. So the festival will be outside. We have performance stages, and then on the inside will be where the gallery will be, where I have this immersive exhibition of words. You'll see some of the cotton fiber paper that I've got. You'll see some of the other artists I'm curating with. And when I tell you, it's going to be there for the entire month of June. And I really am honored to be able to do this with the city and for the city, for the culture and with the people, because this is how we expand history. There's a lot of stories about Dallas that do not exist, and there's a lot of people who know them and who lived them. We have a chance to really tell that narrative and frame that narrative now. So one, I appreciate y'all for doing this. And brother, sister, I'm sending other people here to talk to y'all.
Bring them on, man. This is what we just have some fun.
Hey,
man.
we
You know
ain't
what I
talking
mean?
about nothing.
We ain't talking
We
about
ain't
nothing. What you talking
nothing
about?
and talk about everything. Huh?
What you talking about?
Yeah,
We ain't talking
we ain't
about
talking about
nothing.
nothing.
We ain't talking about nothing.
We ain't talking about nothing.
No,
Okay.
but talking about no, but yeah, we really do, man. I mean, we really appreciate you sitting in with us, and we really appreciate what it is you're doing, brother. You know, tell everybody real quick, man, how they can find you, and if you have anything coming up or anything you want to promote or anything like that, let's do that right now, if you don't mind.
All right, listen. First of all, as you are tuned in, you following the people you following the people who got access to me. If you want to find me, you got to hit them up. These the OGs. These my people. And we are about collective collaborating, working. So that's one thing. But also, if you want to be a part of the music and experience that I have going on with that, you can check out Brown N Word. That's browninword.com. If you want to follow me on all the platforms as well, IAMDWALK. And honestly, man, shoot me a text. My phone number been the same since 2000. So shoot me a text message and just text a fifth to 972-965-2318, because I want to know
Gonna
that
have
our
everybody
people,
texting you.
right? A fifth 972-965-2318 and text a fifth. Right, because like 1-5, because one, I need to know
Where they came from.
and how we connected, and that's just a thing of the South.
Right.
We're gonna ask you who your people,
Right.
where y'all from, how you know
Right.
about who I am, because I don't talk to everybody,
Yeah.
and I don't fool. I talk in public and speak in private. You dig what I'm saying?
Yep, I feel you. Hey, man, I appreciate it, bro. I love you, brother.
I really you
Business.
too.
Yeah.
You just said all the lingo in our little
Everything.
book.
That's right. That's right. So listen, y'all. If y'all wanna find us or fit some, of course, all you gotta do is Google us. But Everywhere we're a fifth of something across all platforms, spelled out a fifth of something. All right. We'll see y'all next week. Shamila, I love you. Thank you for everything you do
Love
with
you
me.
too. I know
And-
I do a lot.
Shamila, I love you
Thank
too.
you.
Oh man, you can tell her you love her. You ain't tell me.
I said you
You know what he
Things
talking
you
about?
can't do with the
Listen,
homeboy.
I told him I love him. He told me, yeah, you too. And then you sit up there talking about Shamila, I love you.
One, I knew you were closing,
No, I'm-
right? But also, I wanted to be inclusive because I know I didn't say I love you too, but
Right.
I do love you. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all some of the coolest people I know. Y'all my
we
country good.
appreciate that, man. We really do. And I was just playing, of course, you know.
Already.
But listen, we'll see y'all next week. Of course, like I said, if y'all need to find us, just Google us, all right? We out of here. Peace. All right. That was what's up.
Dog.
Yeah.
Bruh.
You all right?
Hey man. Hey man, I'm good, dog. Like I just appreciate being in spaces where I can speak comfortably and freely and all of that.
Come get a fifth of something real. Feel the heat.